All right, so there's a brand new kind of early access kind of trailer, kind of explanation just released from Pantheon Rise of Fallen Visionary Realms. We're going to check it out together, and I'm going to react to it. We're going to watch this together, all right? So let's watch it. Let's start it now.
We are thrilled to announce that Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is finally entering early access. Pantheon is a high fantasy MMORPG, but not the same casual game that you might be used to. Pantheon emphasizes challenge through tactical cooperation and connection with the player community around you.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. It is definitely very community-driven, I mean, you can solo. It's rough, though. Like, it's going to take a long time. It's something you can do, though, like, in between time, but you definitely want to get a party. Pantheon is already living up to that vision of the old-school MMO design, which really values parties and grouping up and all that kind of thing, and it's one of the highlights and what makes Pantheon feel special.
As you progress through your own journey, the rewards are hard-won.
The
victories are sweet, but the defeats can also be brutal. And while you can try to face the challenges of Terminus by yourself, the heart and soul of Pantheon is when players join together and depend on one another to accomplish a common goal. This is the very best of the MMORPG genre in action. Now, it's been a long journey for Pantheon, and while we've faced our share of challenges, we are more committed than ever to delivering an amazing experience both inside and outside of the game. Supporting Pantheon is supporting a small independent studio that refuses to compromise its core tenets. This is a passionate team of gamers creating an MMORPG for other gamers. We'd like to share with you our early access plan.
Let's hear those plans. All right, let's talk about it.
Right in.
All right. Early access. All right.
For us, early access is all about letting more people play Pantheon. We want to grow this already amazing community. This means revamping our monetization model, how we distribute the game, and making that overall experience much more streamlined. To make this happen, all current pledge packages will be retired before early access begins. This means if you want extra perks and cosmetics, if you want access to our current testing seasons leading up to EA, you've got a limited time to get them. In a few weeks, we'll unveil early access pricing. The base game, without any perks, will be more accessible than ever, available for a one-time box price for non-pledgers.
Okay.
At this point, we're not planning on charging a monthly subscription, but we'll revisit that topic as we approach full release. Before all that happens, check out the roadmap leading up to EA. It will showcase all the exciting content that you can expect and when. We want to emphasize that this is not a soft launch. Pantheon will still be in development during early access.
You heard that, folks?
This is about growing our audience, having more players testing and excited about the game that Pantheon is becoming. During early access, we're going to keep adding, we're going to keep polishing, we'll be listening to our players' feedback while we push Pantheon forward.
Couple of things I want to address there. The monetization. So we're going to be looking at some sort of box price. Now, what's a fair box price for a game that is in early access? Now, I assume, I mean, it's going to be a situation where if you buy this box price, you've bought the game, right? So even when the game launches, you've already bought the game. Now, you're not going to get all the perks that you get if you did it back in the day and you got one of the packages, right? Like, those are going to have additional benefits for supporting them up to this point, etc. Makes sense to me. But what is going to be the box price? It's going to be a big deal, right? $39.99? $40? You're still buying a game that isn't... You're still supporting a game before it releases, right? So I mean, we'll see what they do, but I don't feel like they could do like a $59.99, definitely not a $69.99, right? They may, I don't know, but that doesn't feel right. I think $39.99, that feels right. Let me know in the comments down below what you think would be a good price for people to jump in that do not own a pledge package already and that just want to jump in and start playing the game on early access in December. I think $39.99 sounds fair. I don't know. I'm assuming that when the game actually launches, they were going to charge like a full game price, $49.99, maybe even $59.99, but probably not. So giving them a little bit of a discount, it's still put some money in the bank to continue development, etc. That feels fair to me, but what do you guys think? Another thing is if we go here and we look at the at the production tracker here, I want to take a look at this. So in progress, stage 3, the ogre, also stage 3, the dwarf, also stage 3, new Archamental models, and then Archamental pet armor. So that's pretty cool. Getting ogres and dwarfs in the game will make a really big difference, getting new races in. Those things are in progress, so those things are coming like real soon, apparently. That's going to be exciting, getting some new races in. This is starting to boost my confidence, because the things... My last video, I kind of went off a little bit because I just didn't feel like they could pull it off, right? It's still hard to believe based on the entirety of the progression of the development cycle of this game. However, if they're really moving it in what we're seeing right here, if this is how it's going to go down, it's starting to feel a little bit more possible, because then September 28th, the Necro, it says here, and then stage 4, code support, and then stage 3, VFX, which it does need some more. The virtual effects are pretty good in the game right now, the ones that they got, in my opinion, for what they're going for to be an indie team. I feel like they're pretty freaking good, and definitely they look good. The videos don't really do it justice. People who's actually played the game know that it looks so much better when it's on your monitor, right? Like, videos never do a video game full service on how good it looks. Videos just don't capture all the little intricate details, but the VFX do look good. More audio. The audio is top-notch. It's actually the best audio I've ever even heard in a video game. I'm not even joking. Like, it competes with freaking Square Enix and Final Fantasy, etc. The audio is incredible, man. There's some soundtracks in this game that I would literally buy and listen to in my car. But beyond that, like the sound effects themselves, the rain pattering on leaves and stuff, man, it's crazy. The amount of detail that the team they hired to do the sound effects, they are top freaking notch. They've worked on big AAA titles in the past, so I guess I shouldn't be shocked. I'm just shocked that they're that good. Anyway, we're getting some more audio. That's good. Stage 2 of not on September 28th, but, during that season, right, we're going to get abilities, and then Stage 3, we're going to get Silent Plains biome. Now, I don't know if we're getting that. Are we getting that, or is that what they're doing under the hood? Are we going to get to see that? We're not going to get to see that. I don't think we're going to get to see that. That's just what they're going to finish, I think. Surely we're not going to get that. That would be wild. But anyway, I see that they've we can't see Stage 4. I think purposefully they kind of did a little trick there where they cut it off right there so we can get to see what Stage 4 is. So that might be something really exciting too. And then Early Access in December, which is all that stuff, right? Content. This is where it's at.
So what about content? What does Early Access include? On day 1 of Early Access, you'll have enough content to take you up to level 40.
Okay, 40.
You'll be able to choose from 12 out of our 14 planned classes.
That's good.
6 out of the 9 planned races.
Most of the races, you see all that
including
dark
basic character customization. You'll have 6 massive zones to explore. These filled with dungeons, rare spawns and rare loot, hidden treasure, new starting locations based on your character's race, a variety of NPCs and quests to discover, and more. Additionally, we have crafting professions working all the way to the current max level. We will have extreme climates and the ability to acclimate your character to those climates. We've improved the tactical combat experience and added several new, unique NPC behaviors and traits. We've also made improvements to the new player experience with better tutorial features, revamped quests to help you get your feet on the ground, guild support, and several other quality of life features.
All right, cool. That's quite a bit of content, to be honest. 6 big zones, almost all the races. We're missing 3 of the races. And then almost all the classes, right? 12 out of 14, pretty good. And then starting max level up to 40, crafting professions, climate and acclimation, and the 6 freaking zones, right? Where we're dealing with like 3 technically right now. Pretty good. Pretty good to me. Pretty good to a Pantheon fan. I don't know how people are going to feel who just are like, oh, new MMO in Early Access, let me try it out, right? Like those people who haven't followed the development, maybe they've watched an Asmongold video and that's it. I don't know how they're going to feel about this, but I can say the gameplay is good though, right? The gameplay is good. It feels good to play. The progression feels great. I don't know, man. It's possible that a big chunk of people are really going to like it if this stuff is in the game, and I'm starting to believe that they're going to pull it off. I kind of couldn't believe it before based on how things have went in the past and how long it's taken to get to this point. But man, I don't know, maybe things really are actually just falling together. The puzzle pieces are just coming together to where we are going to see some massive progression going forward like we kind of have with the seasons. I mean, I want to believe it. I want to believe it. Seeing is believing still. All right, let's move on to the next part. Post-early access.
After Pantheon Early Access begins, our immediate focus will be on addressing any critical bugs and smoothing out the experience for our players. Once the dust is settled, you can expect a steady stream of updates similar to our current season's format, which will bring in new content and features.
Okay, so they're going to continue this season format, which is good.
Of the world, new gameplay systems, a new class, a new race, or a bit of everything. We'll also have a quarterly roadmap starting in 2025.
Roadmaps are good.
And in that roadmap, we'll break down what's to come in the future. This is the perfect time to remind you that any and all playable content will not be put behind a paywall during early access. You buy the game, and all the playable content during early access, including the full game at the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, will be available to you. After Pantheon's full 1.0 release, we'll carefully consider the best way to continue delivering new content and features to our players.
Okay, stop it there. So before I'm assuming now he's going into his final little spiel here. If they can continue the season-based content, which has been pretty good, every 6 weeks we get a chunk of new content. With a game with this, you know, how long it takes, because it's not super fast, it's not super slow, it's not like Embers Adrift slow, but you know, it's more in the vein of an old school MMO in progression on how long it takes, etc. Plus, you have things that kind of set you back a little bit, right? Like dying and taking a little bit of that XP penalty. You're going to kind of pay it back. Stuff like that just causes you to, you know, 6 weeks is good. If they can continue the season format, like he was mentioning there, we're looking at pretty good progression here. This is feeling good. If they do it, this is going to feel really good. Job has a lot of confidence on this, by the way. It kind of builds your confidence, how much confidence he has, right? Let's hear what he has to say here at the end, though.
Our journey to this point has been long and challenging, but we are incredibly proud of the progress that Pantheon has made over the past couple of years.
That's true.
Pantheon has thrived because of its amazing, passionate community, and we look forward to growing that community significantly during early access. We are truly grateful for your patience, your support, and all of the invaluable feedback that you've given us over the years. Our commitment to making Pantheon remains unwavering. As always, onward and upward, everyone. We cannot wait to see you in Terminus.
Cool. I hope they pulled off, man. I really do. I'm really gunning for them, man, because Pantheon Rise of Fallen is super fun right now. I think they've got the right tenets to pull this off to actually be something very special for people who love old school MMORPG game philosophy and design. This is the most anticipated MMO for me personally. Not to say I'm not interested in other MMOs. If a new MMO comes out, I'm interested, right? But Pantheon is where I really would like to build a home and play in absurd amounts of time. It's a place I want to look forward to while I'm at work, to get to log in and see who's online and what kind of adventures we can get into, meet so many of you in the community. Pantheon really has been a dream of mine for many years, as you know if you followed this channel. I think their pay structure is going to be fair. You know, you pay for the game, you get the game, period, right? Like he said that's kind of been the vision this whole time. He kind of was weird about the subscription though, right? That kind of threw me off. He was a little bit like, oh, we'll discuss the subscription at launch. I mean, you're gonna have to do a subscription at launch, right? Like, please, you have to. There's no other way to do this, right? Like, I really don't want to get into cash shop territory is all I'm saying. I think subscription speaks to the audience that the majority is their core, you know, target audience. I think it speaks to us, right? A subscription fee. We support the game monthly. You make the content, right? Like that just feels good to me. I don't know. But maybe the only reason he said that is because it's just not 100% on the books yet. But that's what they're planning on doing, right? Like surely that's what they're planning on doing. Hey, this was a good little quick showcase of what early access is. I like it. I think they did a good job with the editing and everything. I think, honestly, I know a lot of people don't like the graphics or whatever since the change, but I think that how fast we've seen the game actually in the seasons coming out, etc., and if they actually pull off this early access with 6 freaking massive zones, some of those are dungeons, but dude, that's some pretty good feels, right? The past year has been pretty good for Pantheon overall. And this has the opportunity, Early Access has the opportunity to be just an explosion of awesomeness for Pantheon Rise and I hope that it is. I still am reserving all my feelings, okay? I'm reserving them because it's just been such a long, turbulent road. But I am hyped, I am excited, and I'm gonna be really interested to see how the normies are when they come into the game, right? By normies, I mean people who didn't follow this game, man. How are they going to feel about this? The gameplay is good. It's rock solid, in my opinion. If you're not a old school MMO fan, though, I don't know. I don't know how that will translate because I am one. So it's hard for me to think like they do. There's a lot here, though, that's meaty and good. So we'll see how it turns out. This was a good video that VR released here, though. I'm really proud of them for this video. This kind of, I don't know, it kind of boosts my confidence that they really are going to pull. I mean, this is like testimonial. We're going to do it, and these things are going to be in the game. I feel pretty good about it, man. How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments down below. I just had to make a really quick reaction to this and release it to you guys. And of course, we'll talk about it more on the stream. Hopefully, I get off of work at a decent time today, and I can stream some Pantheon because I'm pretty hyped now. And I haven't even made it to Halnir's Cave yet, the newest content, and that's crazy. I need to get there. But thank you all so very much. We'll talk more in the live stream. Until next time, my friends, God bless and happy gaming.